Hi there. So today I'm going to do a review on the LED headlights that I recently bought from LMC Truck. I was unable to find a whole lot of information about these online, so I thought I would provide some of what little of information I was able to get. When I bought them from LMC, they weren't able to tell me very much. They didn't have any data on the lux rating or the lumen rating or anything like that, and I still couldn't find any. And they couldn't tell me who the manufacturer was or anything. And of course, as many of you know, there's a big variation in the quality of these LED headlights. And so I wanted to make sure I was getting some decent ones because the price was, pretty significant. So, it's just under $400 a set, not counting shipping and tax. So let's take a look at them. I've had these installed now for about a week. As you can see, if you take a good close-up look at them, these don't look like the ones that are in the LMC catalog because they have this metal piece in the middle here. Most of these LEDs do have a divider, but it's not as visible as it is in this one. And it doesn't show up in the picture that you see in LMC Truck. The ones in the catalog look more like the truck lights, where that divider is not as noticeable and there's no logo thing in the middle. So when I ordered them, they gave me a different part number for the Dodge trucks and said that these are the new replacements, I guess. And I was unable to find out who the original manufacturer was of these. The box said it was made in Taiwan, and I did a long search online, and the only thing I could find that was like them were the Anzo headlights, A-N-Z-O. You can go to anzousa.com and you'll see headlights just like these, except they have a different logo on them. I'm not sure if that's the original manufacturer or if that's just another company or another distributor who's bought these from the manufacturer and slapped their own logo on them. You can see here there's a little logo here, but it's not a LMC Truck logo. It just says LED. These are 7-inch headlights. And there's a lot of 7-inch LED headlights on the market right now. They all have wide variations in quality and cost. My biggest concern was to make sure that I had ones that fit because, of course, they're all 7-inch. But and they all have, the old standard 3-prong connector, but a lot of times when you're installing lights in these old vehicles, they don't fit into the headlight bucket very well because the LED headlights often have really huge back ends on them to vent the heat, and there's not as much room back there on some of these older vehicles. They have a kind of a thin headlight bucket. So these that I bought here, I like them because they fit very nicely inside the bucket. Which I'll show you here. It's easier to see on this side. There it is. So you can see there's your bucket and there's the headlight sticking out right there, and there's the connector. And a lot of people, if the headlight has got a huge back end on it, which many of the LED headlights do, they end up having to cut this bucket out here. But you can see here there was no cutting necessary, and it doesn't stick out very far. It fits in there real nice. It's about the same size as a stock halogen headlight. So that's what I liked about these. I think the Oracle lights and some of the others are really huge in the back. Originally I kind of debated on whether I wanted to spend the money on LED headlights, but one of my originals went out on me, and I said, well, okay, and if I'm going to do it, I should do it now. So I went ahead and decided to replace them. The ANC, the other headlights like these, the Anzo headlights, I've seen for sale for over $400 for a set. 420, 430, something like that on some of these 4x4 truck websites and other things. These were $3.89 a set, which isn't bad for a nice LED headlight. I think you can get them on Amazon, maybe a bit cheaper. But the good thing about LED headlights is, especially on these trucks had a problem with the headlight circuit blowing out. And I saw online where a guy had a nice little red Express, and he was selling it for almost nothing because it had caught on fire and burned out from the inside. And it was due to the headlight switch. And that's why you'll find a lot of websites, I think even LMC Truck offers a headlight harness for these trucks, because there's so much power going through the headlight switch and they're prone to burn out. And even on my truck last year, I started smelling some smoke, some plastic burning, and then my headlights went out, and when I touched the headlight switch, it practically burned my hands. And I was lucky to get the truck home, and I managed to I replaced the switch, and luckily it didn't do any damage. I was able to kind of trim the plug and fix it before it burned or melted anything badly enough to where it cost a really expensive or time-consuming repair. But these headlights run much cooler. I can show you that when I turn them on, if you look at the alternator switch, those of you that know, you know on these old trucks, these old Dodge trucks, when you turn the headlights on and the truck's not running, that alternator gauge is going to really show some serious drain. But when I do it here with these lights, you can see that it's barely showing. It's no different than if I had stepped on the brake lights. So much less power drain by using these LED headlights. And I'm hoping that this is going to, prevent me from having any problems burning out my circuit and catching on fire. So here's the lights turned on, and it's a little bright out here. It's not dark enough to really see them well. But I'm happy with the way they perform. They light up the road really nice. I haven't noticed any flicker. I haven't noticed any unusual behavior on the lights. I like the way they light up the side of the road really well, because I'm always afraid of deer and other critters running out in front of me and ruining my truck. So, and of course an old truck like this, you don't have the stopping distance of a modern car, so you want to throw as much light as you can. So these are not the brights. It's a nice clear light. And again, even on the Enzo website that sells these headlights, I could not find any lumen rating, any lux rating, no information at all. And even I had LMC Truck do, they did I guess they contacted their warehouse, and they couldn't tell me anything either. Now I've got the bright lights on, you can see. So I'll turn them off. So I'm pretty happy with them. They've worked okay so far. If you're really big on having a stock appearance, these lights are obviously not original headlights because of the design in the middle here. So you're telling everybody you have LEDs, and if that bothers you, this truck has no hood lock like most old vehicles, so you could steal these headlights about as quickly as you could take the hubcaps off. That's probably the only thing to worry about. So, on one hand, I was a little disconcerted about you know, throwing down a lot of money for headlights with little or no information on them. You know, Taiwanese made headlights with no information on the lux rating or lumen rating or anything at all, which is somewhat disconcerting. On the other hand, I have been happy with them, and I don't think I overpaid for them based on what I got and based on what I found online. Haven't seen a whole lot of reviews on these. Haven't seen any reviews on them. I do believe the Anzo offers these headlights with a black, this piece in the middle here is black instead of chrome. And I think I found on one website where they had like 4 or 5 reviews on that, which was mostly good. One guy said he's had some flicker, but I haven't seen any flicker on mine at all. I mean, they're bright, they're steady, and certainly a big improvement over stock. Overall, I'm happy with them. And if you have any questions about these headlights, or if you know more about these headlights than I do, please comment, because it's very hard to find much on them. I mean, the truck lights are well known. The KC lights, you know, those are fairly well known. Oracle, and there's a bunch of others, Union Pacific and Peterson and a few others. Again, my biggest worry was, getting headlights that fit properly in that headlight bucket and had that slim profile. And I knew these would have that because they guaranteed they would fit. And I didn't want to have to cut out my headlight buckets, and I didn't want to deal with sending anything back. So I think that's about it. Again, I'd like to hear some comments about anyone who knows anything more about these headlights and your experience with them. So far, I'm pretty happy. And if that changes, or if it gets better, if anything happens, I'll post an update. So, thanks for watching.